Sleep Hacking with London Rio, brought to you by Bulletproof. Learn how to hack your sleep.
You said that love is a bullshit word.
Well, what I meant by that is I've never met a person that loves everything they've ever done. Sometimes you like yourself a lot, sometimes down, sometimes what a stupid thing I did. So if you live with a replica of yourself, how long would you be together?
That's very interesting.
That is really interesting.
Wow.
You also once said that there are no lazy people and no creative people.
No.
What did you mean by that?
Well, I asked creative people over the years, what is creativity? They say, I don't know, it's just something that comes up naturally. That's what they say. They really don't know. I'm going to try to tell you what creativity is so you'll understand it. But those of you that can't remember, you better make notes. Creativity is taking known elements and putting them together in different ways. In other words, if you go to a movie and you see a Martian, you think, gee, those Hollywood people have good imagination. No, they don't. A Martian has a grasshopper's head and crab's claws. They're not made up of original ideas. All thinking is putting known elements together. If you were raised in some primitive culture, the headhunters of the Amazon, if you never saw anything else, never traveled, you'd be a headhunter. And if I says to you, doesn't it bother you to have 10 shrunken heads? He might say, yes, my brother has 20. Is he bad? No. He's normal to that culture.
Interesting.
There are no good or bad people. People are shaped by culture or subcultures that they're part of, or their religion. And so every word you use, every facial expression, your mother said cup, bottle, light, over and over again, papa, mama, and that's where you got it from. And when you think in terms of your culture. If you don't understand that, if you ask an Eskimo, who I'll tell him, you can have anything you want if he's never left that area, if he's lived in northern Alaska all his life. He'd never say, I want a Mercedes or a twin-engine Beechcraft. He can't say that. It's outside of his frame of reference. Am I making that point?
Mm.
So interesting to understand how so many of our desires and expectations are culturally conditioned, and we think they come from within, but they actually come from external sources.
Man, whatever I say about man applies to me also. Man cannot think or reason. I'm going to back it up if you give me a chance to before you get mad at me.
I was starting to get mad, but I will listen.
Okay. By that I mean that it is not possible for man to invent anything. And I spoke at Princeton at the sociology department, and I wanted everybody to come, so I titled the lecture, Man Can't Think or Reason. That made everybody angry, and they all wanted to come. So they came to the auditorium, and the head of the optics department said, I take issue with you. I believe man can think and reason. I said, give me one example of man thinking, anything. He said, there are thousands of examples. I said, I can't do anything with that. Give me one example. He says, there was a time when a camera did not exist, and somebody had to think of a box camera. So I asked him if he knew that 1,000 years ago in the Holy Land, they made their houses out of mud. They didn't have concrete, and they didn't have the mixtures we had. And when they made their houses out of concrete, they made a little hole in the concrete so you can tell whether it's daylight out there. And when you make a little hole in a black hovel, you can see the people walking upside down on your wall. Of course, they didn't know what it was. They called it the upside down world. They charged 2 pieces of silver for you to see the upside down world. If you go into a barn today, and there's a knothole, you know what I mean? It's small. If the sun is out on the cows, you'll see the cows walking upside down on the wall. That's where the box camera came from. Nobody ever said, no, it's got to make a camera.
So it wasn't an invention, it was an accident.
Yeah, so same with language. They say people invented language to communicate. That's strictly BS, bad science.
Jacque,
In other words, there is no way you can think outside of your culture. You say, well, Tesla invented the wireless. He had to think of it. So I said, look, let's face it. When you bought electric wire in the old days, they wrapped it around a cardboard spool so it wouldn't get tangled up. And if you had a spool, you didn't know it was broken in the middle of the wire, so you connected two electrodes to it to see if you get a flow of current. If you happen to have a coil nearby, it induced a current in it. That's where Tesla got it from. Induction, automatic. He didn't say, got to make wireless. The brain doesn't work that way. You can't say, I got to make a wireless, or I have to make a ladder. Although they tell you that plants grow in school, they can't grow unless the sun's out, the moisture's right, the soil is right, and the heat is right. Of themselves, plants will not grow.
We take real pride in our websites and who we work with on the show, and those are the guys at Squarespace. They've been running our website londonreal.tv and our siliconreal.com for over a year now, and they are an all-in-one platform to make it fast and easy to build your own professional website or portfolio. These guys have the tech down. It's drag and drop. It is easy. I used to run a WordPress site, and I used to have to FTP audio files and all this nonsense. And now when you see these blogs that I write every week where I talk to you about my personal impressions of the guests, I literally just bust those out, drop the picture in, boom, and it's done. And you can actually go now and check out our brand new londonreal.tv site, and you'll see it. It's just got rich images. If you click into the episode page, you can search all of our different 150 episodes based on psychedelics or Bitcoin or finance or health and fitness or philosophy. So it's just, you know, I love what these guys do. And if you want to check them out, it's easy. Click on the logo here or go to squarespace.com. Use the code London, you'll get 10% off, but you don't need to buy anything. You can just go on now for free and start creating your website right now. And then if you want to take that leap, it's like $8 a month to get involved with these guys. And they can even create your own logo, and these guys are going places. So